Hey, this is Sidan, coach of the City 6, bringing you the Week 4 battle of the MBL Season 2. This week we'll be facing Embrace Assassin and his team, the Southern Snorlax. Last week we had a pretty clean match. Could have been a little bit more aggressive towards the end, get some more differential points, but a win's a win, and hopefully we can continue this win streak going. However, we do have to give Embrace Assassin his first L for the season, so hopefully we can achieve that in this battle. So before we get into the battle, let's check out his team and what I brought. On the right you can see my opponent's team, and he has some very hard-hitting Pokemons. A Mamoswine, Alola Marowak, and Exploud. Those three can hit hard. Exploud in particular probably really needs that choice specs to really do some meaningful damage. I mean, it will do meaningful damage without choice specs, but in order to reliably hit KO a lot of my Pokemons, he will need that choice spec. Mamoswine will guarantee to hit KO all of my Pokemon, except Slowbro, who can maybe not get to hit KO'd by it. And lastly, Alola Marowak could probably also OHKO or 2-hit KO my team, maybe except Alolan Persian, but even though I think maybe Alolan Persian will still get 2-hit KO'd, so this is a very tough team to get to swap into. However, his team is a bit on the slower side. Sigilyph is his fastest Pokemon, so hopefully my fastest Pokemon can abuse that. But at the same time, he does have some bulk on his end. Intimidate, Hitmontop can probably stop any of my physical attackers. It does have good special defense, so it could take probably both sides of the field. Of the spectrum, sorry. Toxapex, same thing, with the added of like recovery, and like a special protect in Baneful Bunker that could poison my team. And then again, got Corviknight, which can just roost and build up its defenses. So without careful planning, there's not going to be a lot of opportunities to break. It'll be hard to break this team, but I think I brought the right Pokemons for the job. So let's get into it. So my first Pokemon is Cinderace, Libero Cinderace with heavy duty boots. This is mainly because I feel like I needed, based on what else I brought, I didn't have a lot of support dealing with a Corviknight and Toxapex, and Cinderace this is just the main role for Cinderace, just deal with those two Pokemons. So Pyro Ball and Zen Headbutt is allowed to do super effective damage to Corviknight and Toxapex respectively. Taunt will stop them from recovering up. Bulk up, well, because the pressure on if Corviknight starts bulking up or using Iron Defense, I can't just use Pyro Ball and chip it down. I mean, with pressure it means I probably only get 4 chances to use Pyro Ball on it. So I do need that bulk up option so I can at least match my attack with his defense. I went with 196 EV in speed, so that I can outspeed all his team. 252 adamant means that I have maximum damage. The rest just went into bulk. A pretty simple build. My next Pokemon is a Choice Scarf Crawdont with adaptability. This is just also like a wall breaking option for me. Crabhammer, with the speed investment, and Choice Scarf, I should be able to outspeed all his Pokemons except Sigalith. Uh, so Crab Hammer is just so Crab Hammer knockoff, just two strong stab moves. Close combat's there. It's the best move to hit Exploud with, and Switcheroo, so that I can cripple any of his defensive Pokemon. So Toxapex, maybe even Corviknight and Shiinotic. Yeah, those are probably the I could probably even get rid of the EVL Light from Hakamo if he decides to Hakamo'o, uh, and probably give it to another of his Pokemon. So there's options with there. Uh, like I said, 180 speed allows me to outspeed Mamoswine, assuming it's not Choice Scarfed. 252 Adamant Nature just does maximum damage, and 460. Then the rest so that I can maximize the my defenses. I don't think he has a lot of special defense options, special attackers, and even then, I don't think Chrononaut would stay in any on any of them. So, yeah. My next Pokemon is Escavalier with Overcoat and Leftovers. Escavalier it's just mainly in there to ensure Shiinotic can't Spore. It's just a hard counter to Shiinotic, really. However, it should be able to deal with Toxapex, as well as Galarian Slowbro if it's not holding Flamethrower. I doubt it won't, but it could hold. There's a chance. Substitute, and if it's when it's behind a sub, it should be able to threaten any of his Pokemon. So there, I have Substitute, Iron Head, and Knockoff, Drill Run. Those are just the three attacks that probably cover his team the best. 252 EV and that's in HP and 60 in special defense means that Shiinotic cannot break the sub in one hit. Neither can Toxapex and Slowbro if it doesn't have Flamethrower. So and if he gets if he does bring in Hitmontop, well, that's not to do with special defense, but if his Hitmontop shouldn't be able to break its sub if using Fake Out or Mach Punch. No, I think it may be. Assuming it's not Technician, it shouldn't be able to break it with Rapid Spin or Fake Out. Now, the rest just went into attack with Adamant Nature to maximize the amount of damage. Hopefully, I can get Escavalier in, sub up on a Pokemon, and probably lure in his offensive Pokemons and knock off their items. Because I think that's where most of the why his threats are so threatening is because they can hold these power boosting items. My fourth Pokemon is Raichu. This is my other Pokemon to deal with Corviknight and Toxapex. I have Static just because there's no real electric Pokemons. I need electric type moves coming from him that I'm afraid of. I have Fake Out in order to Raichu is also probably going to be my lead. So Fake Out's just there so I can get some chip damage on any Pokemons he has. Thunderbolt's the most reliable, accurate move. Surf, so I can hit Mamoswine and Alola Marowak if they come in. Volt Switch is just to gain momentum. Pretty simple build. 156 plus speed ensures I outspeed Sigalith. 252 special attack to maximize damage, and the rest into bulk. Yeah. To minimize the amount of damage I can get. My fifth Pokemon is Slowbro. Now, Slowbro is going to be actually my win con if not just a solid breaker of his team. So I went with a Keyberry Oblivious set. The Keyberry allows me so I can boost my physical defense, and Oblivious is there so that I don't get taunted from so I can't get hit by taunt and stop me from healing up and using Calm Mind. So like I said, I have Calm Mind just so I can boost that special defense and special attack, slack off the heal. Scald and Psychic, just the 2 stabs, I think, as well. Yeah, just the 2 stabs. They hit, I think, everything, at least neutrally. Yeah, so 44 speed is there so that I can outspeed 0 speed. Oh, uninvested in. Sorry, Toxapex with no speed investment. There were 252 plus defense to minimize the amount of damage I get from physical attacks, and then on top of that, with Keyberry, it should be impossible to kill to knock out Slowbro physically, except with maybe Shadow Bone from Marowak. But with Poltergeist there, I don't know whether he will use Shadow Bone. We'll see. And 212 EVs just in HP, so that it's just maximize the amount of HP. Nothing much to it. My 6th Pokemon is going to be Togekiss. This is also just a wall breaking option. Maybe even a cleaner, but I gave it Scope Lens and Super Luck, and that allows Togekiss's attacks to 50%. So 50% of the time it'll perform a critical hit. Nasty Plot to boost his special attack. Air Slash and Flamethrower, I think, are the two moves that'll hit all his team neutrally or super effectively. And Roost to keep Togekiss healthy. 180 plus speed allows me to outspeed Hitmontop. For 252 special attack will just to maximize the amount of damage I can do, and the rest just went into bulk. So I think I went some pretty simple builds this week, but hopefully it translates to a win this week. So let's get on to the battle. So here's the battle. It looks like Embrace Assassin brought Toxapex, Mamoswine, Sigalith, G-Max Corviknight, Hitmontop, and Exploud. I am surprised that he didn't bring Alola Marowak. That extra pressure from Alola Marowak makes his team super hard to switch into, but I'm not going to complain on less offensive pressure. Otherwise, he does still have a very hard team to face. I do decide to lead with Raichu because it does immediately threaten Toxapex, Sigalith, and Corviknight. And if he does go with the other 3 Pokemon, I can simply fake out. But he goes with Sigalith, and now that puts me in a really good position. I have the advantage. I can, if I really want to, I could have gone Volt Switch, but I was expecting, with Mamoswine being still possible a Choice Scarf user, I wanted to get catch it out, but he decided to switch into Hitmontop. That was good on him, because Raichu can learn Surf or Fast Knot, and going Hitmontop means that at least he can take less damage while not putting his Mamoswine in danger. So I swap out my my flashy for toe kiss, knowing that he was gonna have a fake out, and the fact that he didn't intimidate, meaning tells me that it was a technician boosted fake out. So there was, so I didn't want to get that chip on Raichu. I still need it for Corviknight, and I do expect Togekiss to threaten Hitmontop out, preferably to Corviknight, because he does resist that air slash, but I over predicted there. He didn't switch, and now my Togekiss is going to faint because of that decision, and I do lose out on some defense and a lot of power there, and now I'm on the back foot. So I have to start threatening his team more now, and so I go with Snorlax. I need to regain pressure, offensive pressure on him, and going Zen Headbutt and having the fastest Pokemon on the field, will achieve that. And lucky for me, he actually switches to Toxapex, probably anticipating a Pyro Ball onto Hitmontop. But that was not the case. Now I'm in a great position. It swung my way hard now. I have the Pokemon that's was built to this to deal with Toxapex in front of Toxapex. I am expecting a Baneful Bronco, so I did go for Bulk Up, and because of that prediction, I have pushed myself even further into a good advantage. This means that I can basically knock out his Toxapex at this rate. I do expect him to switch out, and I do expect him to switch out to Stigalith, because that takes the least damage from Zen Headbutt out of all his Pokemon. But even then, I still have the speed advantage, and I can simply just Pyro Ball the next turn. So I was there was no reason not to choose the Headbutt, and lucky for me, he does decide to sack Toxapex. However, I did learn later, after the match, he was expecting Toxapex to survive that hit, but that was just a misplay on him. Otherwise, it may have been a misplay, but I think it was the best move, regardless. Well, not the best move, but it was a better move than switching out any of his other Pokemon except Sigilyph. Now he does go for Exploud, and the fact that he chose Exploud in front of my Cinderace instead probably tells me that it is his Choice Scarf user. So I don't have my switch into Exploud anymore, and because he's not his Choice Scarf, not Choice Spec, I was pretty confident that I could survive his Boom Burst. So I do go for Pyro Ball and claim another KO. So this puts me in a pretty good advantage. However, now my Cinderace is pretty weak. I no longer probably have the ability to threaten Corviknight anymore, and so whatever Pokemon he has, I was probably just gonna go with a Hail Mary and just sack Cinderace. I do contemplate whether obviously I didn't think about that straight away. I did spend some time contemplating whether I should preserve Cinderace, but I do ultimately decide to sack him. I will choose Bulk Up at this point, because I knew he was just gonna fake out. He was gonna fake out, and I wasn't gonna make a move anyway. But this does put me in a pretty interesting position. Now, the fact that he has Hitmontop in front of me is, at the time, it was more pressing at the time than I thought during the match, because I did lose now my only answer to Hitmontop is Slowbro, and I do not want to use up that Key Berry early on. The fact that he still has his Corviknight with max HP, I can't really I can't get that Key Berry defense boost back, and Slowbro alone can't do enough damage to Corviknight. So I knew he was gonna switch his Hitmontop to preserve it. I did go for Scald, expecting he would probably switch to Sigilyph or Corviknight. And that Scald Burn, it's helpful. No, not really, because he is magic guarded, so that didn't really do anything. And if anything, it actually ended up being worse off for me. I do switch to Crawdont to threaten his Sigilyph. I went with Crabhammer thinking, well, I'm gonna probably feint his Sigilyph beforehand. It should be enough to feint his Sigilyph. It is faster, so he probably will get to attack first, but I do get that Crabhammer before it, so it tells me that he's not as fast and he's more bulkier than I thought, and that now I'm paying the price for not going for a surefire knockout. And with the Psycho Shift, I probably would have guessed the Psycho Shift if I saw that the Flame Wall burnt him instead of Scald, but that was not the case. And I do get rid of another Pokemon, but at the expense of now one of my wall breakers is basically had its power cut, and I'm in actually a bad position now. I don't have power. I lost 2 of my power, my wall breakers, and I have my 3rd one being burnt. I simply just don't have enough offensive pressure anymore. With Raichu can do damage, but not enough to really threaten his Pokemon. And I am a little bit in trouble. He does go with Corviknight, and I do decide to hard switch into Raichu. Because I think I could still at least switcheroo the Choice Scarf a little bit later, and yeah, Raichu should still be able to attack, should still be able to survive Corviknight's stabs. Worst case scenario, it's Knuckle, but lucky for me, he decides to go for a Steel Star. So it raises the defense, but yeah, that is. I'm in a bad position. I have no offensive capabilities now, and my Raichu just can't threaten Corviknight. Well, we can't beat Corviknight when it's Gigantamax. So I have to Volt Switch out, and I'll basically send in probably my most expendable Pokemon, which is my Stubborn. So take the hit from the image, and there's not much I could do here. Now, because I took that pretty well, I decide, I can just knock off the item on his Corviknight. I'm going to be doing his Dynamax, those G-Max turns, but there's no reason for me to really swap in with another Pokemon. Now, thinking back, I don't know why I was even contemplating whether he would roost, but yeah, that's what was going through my head. I was thinking whether he would go for Roost and I can catch him with Drill Run, or just go for an attack. Either way, I think Drill Run just ends up being the safest play. Even if he attacks, I was going to feint. And if he Roost, I was going to hit him with the Drill Run. So, I mean, there's really no issue there. I do go for Raichu. Thinking, okay, I can threaten him with Thunderbolt, but I do think I was thinking whether he will switch to Mamoswine, because now we're both like 3 down, and we're in a position where now we're in the end game. Prediction is gonna matter a lot, and I do decide to just go with Thunderbolt, because I know he's not Choice Scarf anymore, and I think this was the time I decided, okay, it's time for okay, no, no, I went for Groudon. Now, because Groudon is the most expendable Pokemon, he can Fake Out. I knew the Fake Out was coming out, and I can switch through the Choice Scarf onto him, because that way he can't go with Fake Out anymore, and if he goes for something like Triple Axle, or shouldn't be able to do too much damage to my remaining Pokemon. But I forgot he had Knock Punch. And yeah, that means that my Groudon just kind of died for no reason. So yeah, this is now the time. It's time to go use Slowbro. Yeah, there's nothing much to it. I'm gonna start combining. He's probably going to swap out his Hitmontop, which he does. So very good on my end. But now I'm in a position where Corviknight can just Roost. I need probably +3 or +4 calm on special attack in order to do meaningful damage. I do go for Skull, hoping that he will get burned, but goes for Brave Bird, which was interesting because I thought he would just try to Roost up, but the fact that he didn't Roost up probably told me that he doesn't have Roost, and I do get that burn, which is pretty lucky for me. I get 2 burns from 2 skulls, so I decided to Carmine, knowing that even if he does Roost, I'm in a good position, but the fact that he went with Brave Bird probably told me that he didn't have Roost, and now my Slowbro is in an excellent position. Is literally now I'm at +2 special attack. I'm probably like in a defensive position that not even like Mamoswine's knockoff. Oh yeah, knockoff is not even going to do much because now I've consumed my Key Berry, and that Earthquake probably going to do which probably would have done about 50%. Now will probably do about 33%. So I'm in a great position. If I was Embrace Assassin, I probably would have went with Hitmontop at this point, but he does go for Mamoswine. So yeah, he'll get there. So he goes for Mamoswine. Probably he goes for an Earthquake. At this point, I knew I pretty much cinched the game. I go for Skull because of that's gonna faint his Mamoswine. So there we go, Skull. But now I'm starting to think, okay, I might have just stuff that here, because now fake out into whatever move he decides. If it was close combat, it could have been triple axel, I don't know, but 75% HP is not the best amount. So I decided to slack off because I don't want to risk getting knocked out. But I mean, he's faster, so I don't. The slack off. If I was gonna get knocked out, then the slack off wouldn't have mattered. So I ultimately decided to choose a move that really just delayed the game longer than it needed to be. But it does ensure that. But now I'm in a position where even if he crits with his triple axel, I'm basically going to win this game. So yeah, goes for the triple axel. It actually misses, but the psychic claims the win for me. So I get a full knockout on his team this time. So yeah. So it was a pretty actually rough match. Wasn't as clean as last week. The momentum swung. His the momentum swung throughout the whole match, and that was just good gameplay from my opponent. Managed to swing those the momentum to his side whenever he lost it. And I did try my best to maintain momentum, but he did manage to keep taking it from me. So that's some great gameplay from Embrace Assassin. I mean, he was undefeated at up to this point. So yeah, obviously, like there's nothing bad I can say about my opponent. That was a great game. Probably that Toxapex. I did find out his Toxapex did have haze, so it could have impacted the game could have impacted the game differently, depending on whether he let me get that 2 Carmine. But nonetheless, it's a win for me, and hopefully next week I can get like a cleaner battle. I am looking forward to next week's battle. We'll be facing one of the few coaches I actually have faced before. So next week I'll be facing King Sosa and the LA Infinapes. If you want to be notified when that battle comes in, you can subscribe. You just click subscribe, and that'll let you notified when the next battle come in. Otherwise, it will come in next week. I look forward to that battle, and it's going to be an exciting one. We have faced each other a couple of times now, so it will be interesting facing a person I have experience fighting. I have a general sense of how he plays, and he probably has a sense on how I play. So I can't wait. But until then, hope everyone has a nice day, and see you next week.